So here we have Xiaomi's latest budget-minded phones, the Redmi Note 14 4G and the Note 14 Pro 4G. Since they come from the same brand and even share the same series, you can expect plenty of similarities between these two devices. Let's dive in and see how they stack up against each other. When it comes to unboxing experience, both the Redmi Note 14 4G and the Redmi Note 14 Pro 4G give you a nearly identical feel. Inside the box, you'll find the essentials: the phone itself, a USB-C charging cable, a fast charger, and a black silicone phone case to keep your device protected right out of the box. Xiaomi keeps it simple and consistent across the lineup, so there's no big difference in this department. While it's nothing out of the ordinary, it's great that they include a case and a charger, especially when many brands have started leaving out accessories. Now let's talk about pricing. This is where the two phones set themselves apart. Pricing can vary depending on your region, but in my area, the Redmi Note 14 4G starts at around 170 USD for the 6GB and 28GB version, while upgrading to the 8GB 256GB version bumps up the price to around 200 USD. Meanwhile, the Redmi Note 14 Pro 4G with 8GB and 256GB will cost you around 250 USD. This means that even at the same storage and RAM configuration, the Pro model comes with a higher price tag. Starting with the size and design, the Redmi Note 14 is slightly heavier than the Note 14 Pro, although the difference is so minimal that you probably won't notice unless you use a scale. Both phones feature the same 6.67-inch screen size, but the Note 14's thicker bezels make it appear larger compared to the Pro, which has a more refined look with minimal bezels. The Pro's sleeker appearance immediately gives off a more premium vibe. When it comes to build quality, both phones are built to withstand everyday wear and tear, but the Pro takes the durability a notch higher. The Note 14 is protected by Gorilla Glass 5, while the Pro uses Gorilla Glass Victus 2. It's like choosing between a helmet and a better helmet. Both will protect you, but one's clearly more durable. Same story with dust resistance. IP54 on the regular versus IP64 on the Pro. Not exactly submarine grade waterproofing, but enough to survive a splash. Both devices have a matte finish on the back, which not only feels great in hand, but also does a fantastic job of repelling fingerprints. For added functionality, Xiaomi hasn't skipped out on the essentials. Both phones come with a headphone jack, stereo speakers, and a weirdly useful infrared port that you can use as a remote for your various household appliances or messing with TVs at the restaurant. Moving on to the display, both the Note 14 and the Note 14 Pro come with a 6.67-inch AMOLED panels, featuring an adaptive 120Hz refresh rate that switches between 60Hz and 120Hz based on the content on your screen. They also share the same 1080p resolution and an impressive peak brightness of 1800 nits, ensuring vibrant visuals even in bright sunlight. What the Pro pulls ahead is in the design of the screen. The curved panel on the Pro not only looks stunning but also provides a more premium feel, while the Note 14 sticks to a flat display. But if you're being honest, curved displays are more about looks than function. The thicker bezels on the Note 14 also detract slightly from its overall look, giving it a less sophisticated appearance. Here's where it gets interesting though. Despite identical specs, with both of them delivering vibrant colors and deep contrasts, the Pro's display just hits different. Blacks are a bit inkier and colors pop more. But we're talking subtle differences here. Most people scrolling through TikTok won't notice or care. Now let's talk performance. The Redmi Note 14 comes with the MediaTek Helio G99 Ultra processor, while the Note 14 Pro features the Helio G100 Ultra processor. On paper, these are different processors, but the truth is, there's almost no noticeable difference between the two in real-world usage. Honestly, it feels that MediaTek keeps rebranding the same processors with new names for their budget lineup, as performance across them remains very similar year after year. If you're wondering how close these two really are, let's look at the benchmarks. Surprisingly, the cheaper Note 14 actually beats the Pro in both multi-core CPU and GPU scores. Now benchmarks aren't everything, but it does prove that spending extra for the Pro won't necessarily get you better performance, so don't be fooled into thinking the Pro is a powerhouse just because of its name. Here's what's actually different: RAM and storage configurations. The regular Note 14 tops out at 8GB RAM and 256GB storage, and the Pro goes up to 12GB and 512GB. Both have expandable storage though, so there's that. For daily use, whether it's social media, gaming, or multitasking, both phones perform similarly. Moving on to cameras, the Redmi Note 14 4G features a 108MP main lens, along with two useless 2MP lenses for macro and depth that might as well be stickers. It also has a 20MP selfie camera. On the other hand, the Note 14 Pro 4G steps it up with a 200MP main lens an 8 megapixel ultra-wide lens, the same useless 2 megapixel macro lens, and a 32 megapixel selfie camera. Main cameras are decent in good lighting, nothing mind-blowing, but solid for social media and casual shots. The shots are detailed and sharp. The selfie cameras also do a decent job, not excellent, but they get the job done. Now the problem lies in the ultra-wide lens. The Note 14 doesn't have an ultra-wide lens, which is disappointing since its predecessor did, and removing it feels like a step backwards. Meanwhile, the Pro does include one, but the 8 megapixel ultra-wide lens delivers very poor quality photos. It might as well be a webcam. Whether this issue is specific to this unit or widespread remains unclear, but either way, the ultra-wide performance isn't great. When it comes to video recording, both phones are capped at 1080p at 60 frames per second on the rear cameras and 1080p at 30 frames per second on the selfie cameras. While the lack of 4K video recording might disappoint some, I think it's fine for phones at this price point. They're not trying to be your next vlogging camera, and that's okay. Alright, software. Both phones ship with Android 14 and HyperOS 1. The software offers plenty of customization options, letting you tweak everything from your home screen layout to system-wide themes. If you're someone who loves personalizing your device, HyperOS has you covered. In terms of updates, the Note 14 will receive 2 years of software updates and 3 years of security patches, while the Pro gets an extra year for both, 3 years of software updates and 4 years of security updates. And of course, you should expect Android 15 update anywhere within the next few weeks. That said, being budget Xiaomi devices, both phones come preloaded with a fair share of bloatware. Apps like Facebook, Netflix, and several pre-installed games that you'll never play are part of the package. While some of these might be useful, others are unnecessary and can take up storage. Thankfully, most of these apps can be uninstalled if you prefer a cleaner experience. When it comes to battery life, both phones are powered by 5500 mAh battery. That's huge, like forget about your charger for a day huge. These will easily push through heavy use and probably have juice left for doom scrolling before bed. As for charging, the Note 14 supports 33W fast charging, while the Note 14 Pro steps up to 45W fast charging. While the Pro charges slightly faster, the difference isn't massive. Expect about a 10-minute advantage when going from 0 to 100%. Both devices include their respective chargers in the box, which is a nice touch, especially in an era where apparently ditching them is cool. I'm talking to you Samsung, Apple, Google and nothing. So here's the deal with these two Redmi phones. They are siblings who share 90% of their DNA. If you're trying to decide between these two, I'd say save your money and go for the regular Note 14 4G with 8GB RAM and 256GB storage. You're getting essentially the same performance, the same display quality and comparable camera results. Sure, the Pro has that ultra-wide lens, but when it performs this poorly, it's almost like not having one at all. The Pro version does give you that curved display and slightly better build material, but ask yourself, is that worth the extra cash? Because in terms of actual user experience, day-to-day performance and photo quality, these phones are practically identical twins. In the end, spending extra for the Pro just doesn't seem justified. Thanks for watching. I'm Milan and this is Fuzitech. Subscribe.